Greetings and salutations, students of Greek. I want to do some practice and review sentences together. These come directly from Clayton Croy's book, Primer of Biblical Greek. They're from lesson 3, where we're looking at the first declension, noun. So we're going to be working on nominative, genitive, dative, and accusative cases, along with the present active, indicative, verb tense. So let's begin with these sentences. I want to start with sentence number 2 in the practice and review. Read it in Greek first. Genoskousin hati blepe adelphas thalasan. Now, our tendency is going to be to just translate left to right. And in this case, that wouldn't go too terribly for us. But let's break down the sentence parts that we know. We have this hati clause, which means because. So genoskousin, this is a verb. So we're going to put a box around our verb. And it means, notice this is a third person, plural, present active indicative. So that means what we're looking at is they, third person plural, gnosko, know. Hati, that, they know that. And now we have a new clause. So we can put a line here and go, okay, we have a new clause. Blepe adelphas thalasan. Now, this is where it's really important to pay attention to case. Adelphas is a noun, and adelphas is what case? Nominative, genitive, dative, or accusative. This is a nominative, singular, masculine noun. And so it's going to be adelphas blepe thalasan. So a brother, blepe, is our verb, and this is third person singular, present active indicative. They know that a brother sees thalasan, sea, or water. So we have another noun. Now, how do I know what function these nouns are serving in the sentence? Well, my nominative is going to be my subject of the verb, and my accusative, feminine, singular, is the direct object of the verb. So we have to make sure we're paying close attention to what is the case of each noun as it relates to the verb. Let's look at another example, sentence number 8, another hati clause here. So we can go, okay, we have a hati clause. We have two separate clauses. Grapho ecclesia hati. Grapho. This is the first person, singular, present active indicative, which means I, and from the verb grapho, write. Ecclesia, now notice this little iota subscript. That's a dead giveaway that when I see that iota subscript, I'm in what case? Nominative, genitive, dative, or accusative. The iota subscript tells me I'm looking at a dative noun. So I write to a church. That. So I'm writing to a church, not I'm writing church. The ecclesia is not the direct object. The ecclesia is the indirect object. And I know that it's the indirect object because it's in the dative case. So I write to a church, that, and then I'm getting the content of what I wrote. Ou gnoske aletheon. Ou gnoske aletheon. Ou is the negation of the present tense. So the verb gnoske is from gnosko, I know. So in the gnoske, o, eis, a, amen, edi, usi, a is that third person singular present active indicative from gnosko. So he, she, or it, we'll just, for now, we don't know. I write to a church that he, she, or it does not, now I'm adding the does because of the negation, okay? Does not know aletheon, truth. Now, truth, how do I know truth is not the subject of this verb, gnoske? Because it's the nominative, genitive, dative, or accusative case. It's in the accusative. How do I know? Well, look at my ending here. I've got that new at the end of my noun, which is telling me I'm looking at an accusative noun. So I would translate the sentence. I write to a church that probably she, because the subject of gnosko is probably implied from the church, that she does not know truth. Or we could say that it does not know truth, because we tend to not think of the church in feminine terms necessarily. So again, in each of these instances, you have to pay careful attention to what is the ending, the dative ending on ekklesia, the accusative ending on aletheon, and that's going to tell you what function the noun is serving in the sentence.